Hello there, this is Big Benedict. We're playing DMC4 on Dante Must Die difficulty. This is Mission 17, Adagio for strings. That reference right there, that allusion, is from a work by classicist Samuel Barber. It's a work composed for string orchestra. I haven't listened to it, but I guess I will now since I like classical music. So that's how I think that this game has class sometimes. But this chapter, 25 minutes almost, the first confrontation is right over here, and I really like this chapter because we backtrack and we go to a couple of areas in the actual city that we only glanced at from above on chapter 2 with Nero, when we're going through the city and going into the monastery and also ending up in this harbor area. So we have the scarecrow head and feet here, and we are going to have some of the knights coming in, the gold ones. And the boss for this chapter is pretty tough, but he can be contained with, well, it's hard to contain him. He's really difficult because he moves around so much and he's throwing so much stuff at you the whole time. So what I did, I'm going to show you how to get the gold orb on this stage, because when I was first playing it, I saw it, and I was wondering, how the heck do I get that? And then I figured it out by and by, and I'll show you how to do it. You will need to have the spaceship to go get it, and you will have to have the your disaster gauge. You're going to have it up. You only really, in all reality, you only have to have it up about not even half, maybe a third, but you might as well, just in case you can't get it. I've never messed up on it, just to tell you the honest truth about how easy it is to get over to the platform where you have to go off of the spaceship. But I'm just going to be calling it a spaceship for lack of a better word, because it looks like one kind of. So I've never messed up. I'm not an expert at doing those kind of platforming things, but it's very easy. And it's pretty lenient too. And on this chapter, surprisingly, they give you enough checkpoints. It's just that on the chapter's boss, they start you out in the pavilion, and you have to run to him every time. And it's just why? I like when these guys go up in the air, because even though you can't use we don't have the Devil Bringer like Nero does, but you can double jump up to them and hit them, and they're actually hittable. When they're on the ground, they're in their defensive mode so much. But as far as fights go, we're going to have one pretty big brawl with some Scarecrow, and then some Mega Scarecrow, and then some dogs, and then that's really it. And then before the boss, we'll have the confrontation with the knights, and also with the Mephistos and the Faust, who's intermixed with that grouping. Some people might think that that's maybe one of the harder fights in the game. I honestly don't think so. I thought it was difficult at first, but it just kind of depends on what enemies are troublesome for you. If you use the Dark Slayer, though, you can. It's very similar to the weapon that you have with Virgil and Virgil's Downfall, and I was going to cover that particular piece of DLC, but I played it and I gave it a fair chance to impress me, and I did it several times and got most of the upgrades, I think, but I just didn't enjoy it. The character moved way too slowly for me, and his combos were very, very slow. I just didn't, and he had no range. I didn't like that. So here is a checkpoint. It's really nice that you're given a checkpoint here, and I believe that this whole section is bookended with a checkpoint. So right away you want to turn around and take care of this blade here. Focus on the blade, and then this whole time you're either going to have a Mephisto or a Faust along with these blades here, and you can move around the different corners here, and also you can smash the destructible objects to give yourself some health back. So I can't remember it when the Faust comes, if it's on a timer or if you have to kill X number of enemies. So there's one enemy dispatched, and is that the Faust? No. Just watch out for those guys' attacks, not the blades. The blades are okay. They're not too troublesome. But the Mephistos and the Faust, their long-range weapons can go right through the game's geometry of that building right there and hit you, especially the Faust. So just really watch out for that. And then the next chapter will be the fight. It's kind of a fight and a puzzle at the same time. It's not very. I don't like it. It's kind of drawn out, to be honest with you. But it's the fight with the huge statue monster. So here's the Faust. I honestly can't say like how he came into the picture. I've killed a number of enemies, but I've also been on a timer here, so not literally on a timer, but it could have been that he just comes when you kill. Maybe it's the Mephisto. See, so it's not dependent on killing the Mephisto. So maybe it's after you kill X number of blades, then the Faust comes in. That's probably what it is. So what we can immediately tell from that is that you can go ahead and kill the, unless it's on a timer. If it's not on a timer, you can go ahead and kill the Mephisto first, because then you won't have to deal with a Mephisto and a Faust after you've killed all these blades. That's a great move right there, although it takes a long time for him to launch it. And then, same goes, there's no camera manipulation here, but you can control the on-screen presence of these enemies, especially the Faust, by going in different areas, by going around the corner, and just remember, watch out for that. See that? See how that's not fair. I mean, I understand that these enemies are kind of ghost enemies, and maybe their weapons would go through that in the game's kind of mythology. But for the player, it's not fair. If he's going behind a corner, he should not get hit there. And a lot of the times when I have been griping about the checkpoints in this game, it's usually because of a fight like this, when I'm really spending a lot of time on it, enjoying it, and, I just want, I just don't like to start a fight over when I've been doing it for 5 or 7 minutes. I understand that sometimes you have to redo sections in games. I'm well aware of that. I mean, I've played so many Ninja Gaiden games, but sometimes you just want the comfortability of fair checkpoints. You don't need one every 5 minutes, but anyway. So we need to focus on this guy. Use your charge shot, and remember on this weapon. If you remember my explanation of it, the charge is the same duration as far as how long you have to hold the gun attack. So it's several seconds of just holding it down until it charges, and then you'll get more shots depending on what charge level you have purchased. So the charge shot level 1 shoots like barely 2 bullets of charge, like charge bullets, and then the charge will go away. And then the level 2 charge will shoot maybe 3 shots, and then the level 3 charge will probably shoot about 4 charge shots before the charge just goes off of his hand. But I suspect you get a checkpoint over here. I'm pretty sure of it almost, but these enemies should not give you trouble. They're very easy enemies. It's just the scarecrows, and then the mega scarecrows, and then the dogs. And you could preserve these chairs and trash cans here for health pickups. And I will also show you where one blue orb location is, just because I felt like it, and it's, you might miss it. But it's basically going on top of an awning and doing a double jump up there. And sometimes it could be hard to make that jump, actually. So I've seen people use what is that weapon? It's the gray one, the Lucifer. I wish the Lucifer and the Gilgamesh didn't look so much like each other, to be honest. Oh yeah, and right here, the reason I'm charging my gun in the disaster gauge is because, like I said, I wanted to have that in my gauge so that when I go to get the gold orb, I can actually get it. But what I wasn't even thinking of, though, when I did the final fight before the boss, was that if I had perished on that fight and restarted, I'm not talking about this fight, I'm talking about the next fight, my disaster gauge would have gone from all the way filled to nothing, because this game does that for some reason. Then what I would have had to have done to build the disaster gauge, aside from starting the whole chapter over, was to just build it wouldn't be that hard because you really don't need much. So what you'd be doing was at least you'd be charging off the knights as much as you could, and it would work. It's fine. But if you build it up all the way, you might as well preserve it. So you can actually, bottom line, you can go get the gold orb first. You don't have to wait until the fight's over. But I do it in the order of the fight, and then I'll go get the orb, just because I like to earn things in games and feel like I'm earning things. So I don't just get the loot first. And the boss is one that I really don't... In fact, I hate him. But not because he's hard, but because he's annoying, and thusly, like, it's not really a cop-out. Maybe it is. Maybe people might think it is, because it's hard to obtain one's objectivity when you're trying to analyze oneself. But I don't really... I didn't practice him too much. I'm just trying to strong-arm my way through some of these bosses because I don't enjoy fighting them, and also I just want to finish the game. And bosses really aren't my strong suit, to be honest. To be literally, brutally honest. So there we go. We got a nice Devil Trigger Distortion going. The dog should... the dog should be here by now. There's the dogs. Okay. But I personally like Nero more because it's fun to grab. It's really good to have a grab in a game. There is no grab in Ninja Gaiden, but there is in God of War. And I really think this game should have iframes during the throw. I said it so many times, but there's a point where it does become abused. You can abuse a grab, but game makers have ways of limiting that by having enemies not be susceptible to grabs. Have specific enemies be grabbable, some aren't. Maybe some can be grabbable after you destroy a shield or something like that. So that's why I think God of War was really revolutionary. But I know it owes a lot to this game, to this whole franchise, obviously. But that doesn't mean I have to like it the best. I could recognize its history and its long pedigree of greatness and everything. I'm not being sarcastic. I'm saying I literally know all those facts, but I don't enjoy this game as much as God of War, Ninja Gaiden, and I never will, because I've played these games so much and I have a very good understanding of them. Not the best, but... So you guys probably want me to shut up right now, I guess. But I've got to talk, or otherwise it's boring. So... there's where the blue orb is up there. If you're having trouble, you might be able to get up. Yeah, the Trickster is pretty good for that. The different moves with the Trickster, like the wall scaling move, is good. Now, over here, I'm going to show you where the yellow orb is. I'm actually just going to jump and kind of swing my sword in the air so you can see where it is. Look on the balcony up there, right up there. See the gold orb on the balcony, right in the middle of the screen right now? That's where I'm going to go after I do this battle here. So, do you get a checkpoint over here? Yes, I believe you do. So they give you really good checkpoints over here. And that trash can right there that I didn't shoot at it, but this one right there that I was pointing out, if you destroy it, you don't get any items like red or green orbs, but you do get... that was a really seamless edit right there that I did. I did very methodical and particular edits on this chapter because I like it. And I'm not discriminating about that, but that trash can has a trial. It's concealing a trial marker. so you can go over there and interact with it if you haven't done it. So we have these the Mephistos here, and we'll have some knights dropping in presently. They're the Alto Angelos, yeah, they're the gold ones because I don't remember the white ones being here. So it's going to be important to keep enemies off screen here because we have complete control of the camera and manipulating who we have on the screen and who we don't. Or whom, rather, excuse me. What am I thinking? So I'm going to use, I think this is called the Shredder. And what I was trying to do there was incorporate the Devil Trigger with the Shredder to have more damage off of that knight. But what I'm doing here is I'm just jumping and using the B attack with the Swordmaster skill. If you have any other skill on, he won't do the aerial strike that he does right there. It's actually a pretty decently powered attack. It's not stronger than his regular attack, but that's the only way you can hit those guys up there. I mean, if you want a straight hit that's perpendicular to them, or not, I guess at a right angle to them, I guess it would be. But here I was failing to remember that these guys are not easy to stun with the Pandora. So I think I changed my tactics over here. Make them a little bit more advanced tactics. So after this game, I might play God of War 2. Or no, what am I talking about? Ninja Gaiden 2. I was thinking about God of War. I'm done with God of War 2. That was a really difficult game to beat on Titan. But what I'm thinking is Ninja Gaiden 2, Dragon Sword only, next on Acolyte mode. Just kidding, obviously. Wouldn't play it on that mode. But you can get the 5G achievement. It's only 5 Gs, but my gamer score is so low. I don't even care about the gamer score. I think it's like 6,000 or something is the gamer score. But I'm not accruing any points now playing this game, aside from the ones you get on Steam. Because I think I mentioned that I bought this off Amazon, but in order to download it, I had to have Steam. But the thing is, I'm glad I did that because you can't play this game if you have the physical copy. I wasn't able to. I don't know about all the technical things, but I wasn't able to play this game unless the disc was in the computer, rather. Excuse me. It's so nice to play things without noise, from consoles. I've really been detesting noise from consoles lately. Even the spinning in the computer, it's just that could be eliminated if it's digital. I like that. I mean, I still have a collection of games, but let's be serious here. Here's the Faust. I'm taunting him to get a little more Devil Trigger in my Devil Trigger gauge, and now I'm going to be using charge shots and not trying to, but definitely hitting him point blank in his skull area so that I can get as much damage off him as possible. And this is this precious few moments of being able to hit him here. I'm getting interrupted by that gaping in the way. So now I have no Devil Trigger, and what I'm going to have to do is perhaps taunt a little bit, but I'm not comfortable taunting when this enemy is here. There's putting him off the screen right there. I hate this guy. I don't like his attacks. He's got such range with his moves. And the thing, I don't hate him because he's hard. I just wanted to get that clear. I hate him because he's just standing in my way, and I don't know. Okay, so there we go. He's finished off, and now we're going. Okay, now you can go to the boss, or you can do what I'm doing. And don't be alarmed that there are no boxes or anything over here, because there are. I just smashed them, and then I went back out and did some editing. So, why put the smashing of the boxes in here if I could just smash them and come back, and not have to do it. So there's the orb right there, and there's a gate barring our way. So now what you need to do is switch to gunslinger style, the gunslinger style rather, and then just jump and then press the B button and then just fly on over here and then switch styles to get out of the spaceship. And then go over here. It looks like there is some barring of our axis there, but it's not. So we got the gold orb. Now we're just going to go back. So for the boss of this stage is just the same one that was in chapter 11, I think it was. So no different moves at all. It's just that you have to approach him differently because you're using a different character. And I think some people really like that about this game. I don't. I think it's pretty interesting. But here, see right here, right this area right there? That's where they start you every time if you die. Why not just start the player here? Or better yet, just on the boss. But anyway, he's on the ground at first, so what I'm going to do is the real impact. And if he's not on the ground, I'm just going to just jump and use my Swordmaster skill. It's nice to have the Swordmaster skill on because you don't have to switch, when you have to do aerial strikes. But lovely damage. He's halfway dead, but he's pushing us back now. And I don't go for any more distortion attacks. You can, but here I was just strong arming my way through him. I was just trying to do regular hits and just avoid everything that he was doing, just kind of muscle my way through it. Yes, I had to use a couple of items, but once you use one or two, you're in deep, and if you fail, then you're just going to lose a lot of items. So it is that irony of using more, all these items, but if you die though, then you don't have anything left to show for it, except you might have to restart the chapter. If you want to preserve your items that much. So just remember, if he goes into the middle and says, time to die, I think is what his line is, he'll do the flash, the heat wave flash, and it will take away massive damage, the most damage you can receive on him. I think he's doing it now. So just jump and hit him with the B attack. If you're getting to him too late, just activate the double trigger so that your hits will count for more, and just put him out of that because he does it pretty often, but it's free, it hits for you. And also watch out for his grab too. You don't want to have him siphon our health into his. That's the last thing we need. We don't need to lose progress that way. And just keep smashing him and using your double trigger to make your hits stronger. You see these dogs, what am I supposed to do with the dogs? I can't throw them back at him now. Same with the swords. It's kind of one of those things that makes this boss a little irrelevant for Dante. So watch out for this. This has huge range. I've never been able to evade it. Maybe I did there, but that was kind of lucky. So it's just one of those things where I only have a little bit of his health left, and he's continually throwing things at me, continually evading me. But that's it. The next chapter will be our final time with Dante, and we'll be doing that fight. Oh, see how much that takes away? That is a good example right there. How much that guy, how devastating that move is. So here I'm regenerating my health with the double trigger, but he still hit me. And I could have mitigated this by doing the real impact, but I just was very headstrong about just using the sword to kill him. So he should be going down. There we go. I'll see you in the next mission. Thank you for watching.